So I haven't done a lot of videos in this car, other than the one where I took it to the chassis dyno and went up to 24 pounds of boost and made 262 wheel horsepower. But this is my 87 Turbo Sunbird, Pontiac Turbo Sunbird. My sister bought it new, and I got it in 2004 and modified it, got it to run 13.6 at 101. But she's had it, I've had it, we swap back and forth with it. She gets tired of it, gives it back to me. I get tired of it, give it back to her. That's kind of how it goes with it. Now it's in my possession again, and I think I'm at a point in my life where I can appreciate the car more. So I wanted to do some things to it, and my custom high-performance 125 transmission lost second gear while I was out trying to tune the engine to run better. And then I noticed it had an excessive, what I'll call blow-by out of the breather at the valve cover. It's not blowing oil out there, but it has a definite crankcase pressure. So I thought maybe the engine was hurting. So along the way, I said, you know what? More bottom end torque would be nice. Something more modern you get parts for easier would be nice. These 2-liter turbos are hard to get parts for. So I thought about the Buick supercharged 3800 engine. And as luck would have it, a friend of mine called me and said, hey, I got a supercharged Regal I got to get rid of. You want to buy it cheap? So I jumped on it, and he also had a spare engine and transmission, so I bought that too. And I did some research. There are a handful of guys who have done this swap, but they're mostly in second generation, which my car technically is first generation J-body. Third generation J-body has a bigger engine compartment. They do that too. So let's say there's 6 guys who've done the swap. 4 of them are third gen, 2 of them are second gen, none of them are first gen. I can't say the engine compartment of the first gen and the second gen are appreciably different, but they're all in Cavaliers, and Cavaliers have this whole front section here open, so there's plenty of room. My car does not, has hideaway headlights and all that crap, so there is definitely a room deficit in the front of my car. So I did get the 2-liter out. I did stick the 3.8 in, and I'm sizing it up, and this thing is just too big. I mean, here's your clearance at the rear. You got about, I don't know, half an inch, 3/4 of an inch right there. I have to cut that out, and that's the actual transmission mounting bracket. You know, down here, you got about 3/8, 7/16 between the brake lines and the transmission case, which I could trim the case or move the brake lines, but do you really want to do all that crap? You know, the front is the exhaust manifold. The fan should fit back in, but a bigger problem is in the back. Where's the manifold? I'll show you. Well, here's the back manifold. The way it works is you got the front manifold, the back manifold, and then a crossover pipe goes from the front to the back, and the exhaust exits out the back. You know, this central exit. The problem is my car, I don't know about any other first gen J body, I'm assuming they're all the same. They're all 4 cylinders, except for maybe the Cadillac Cimarron. I'm not sure if they had a V6, and even the Cavalier Z24, they had a V6, the late first gens. I'm not sure where the exhaust came out, but I'm sure it isn't as big as this. This is supposed to be almost 3 inch, 2 3/4 probably. It's pretty big. So there's no place to put it. My sway bar is in the way. My steering rack is in the way. The transmission case is in the way. I mean, this thing's massive. It's a big transmission. It goes all the way over. I mean, so this right side axle would be short, which is a whole other issue. You have to make axles up to fit from the Buick transaxle to the Sunbird hub. I'm gonna do a big brake upgrade to the Alero Malibu front brakes. I don't think the axle shaft's gonna fit. I haven't tried it, but you know, again, it's something to consider. Here's the front clearance, which is almost none. You could change the belt, maybe. There's an idler pulley that goes here that won't fit. Unless I chop this off, and this again is my front engine mount. The coil pack hits my radiator outlet. You know, granted, mine has been moved. The original Sunbird outlet goes this way, so I moved it to go this way. It's just a cleaner fit on a 2-liter Sunbird, but with the Buick engine, it's smack dab on top of it. So there's problems galore. So the more I look at it, the more I say, do you really want to do this at this stage in your life? So I think I'm going to pull the plug on the swap and just go back through the 2-liter and the transmission and try to make them work better than they worked before. I mean, the 125 held up fine for years. It just something broke, probably a sprag or something like that. It just has no second gear. It's just first and third. I mean, the engine, I leaked it down. It's got 10% leak down, which I believe is fine. I'll probably go through it and check the rings and bearings. Maybe I'll change rings and bearings while I'm in there. I mean, it's right here on the floor. Couldn't be easier, you know, it's right in front of me. So, I think that's what I'm gonna do. That's a Super 60 Turbo, which is very laggy. So I will put my T28 back on, and I'll have Limit Engineering rebuild it for me and probably modify it slightly. You know, the 125, I'll go back through it. I never rebuilt one before, but I did the 204R on my Firebird. If I can handle that, I'm sure I can handle this little 3-speed. Not much to it. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. I didn't cut anything. I didn't torch anything. I made sure to take everything out gently. So I had a two-way street in case I wanted to put the 2-liter back in, which I really feel positively I'm gonna do right now. I mean, it looks like there's plenty of room around it, but once you start putting pieces back on, the room goes away fast. And again, it's also about 400 pounds of nose weight, which is a lot. That's a lot of weight in the nose. So, call me a coward, but I think I'm done with this swap. I was just documenting it for posterity in case anybody else wants to go down this road, because there was precious little info out there to do this. Again, they're mostly third gens. They get them to fit. Hats off to them. I don't know where they do these offs. I mean, I was thinking about blocking this piece right here and then having these offs come out the front. I was gonna cut into the pipe, manifold rather, and run 1 or 2 pipes down there. That's where the fan goes. That's where the lower mounting would go. I still haven't figured out engine mounts yet, where to put them, what to use. I'm being a coward saying, yeah, enough. I don't need it. I mean, sure, all that bottom end torque would be fantastic. Love to have an engine I can go to any Napa and buy, you know, parts for right off the bat, rather than have the week to get them from Amazon or Rock Auto or whatever. But, you know, my days of racing this car are pretty much over. So that's that. I guess I could look into a 3400 swap or a 3100 swap or a 3X00 swap, whatever they call the V6 60-degree engine swaps. Yeah, if I had all the parts available to me, that's why I bought this Regal, just so I could have the entire car, take whatever I wanted out of it. I'm sure I could find a Beretta somewhere or some other V6 GM I could steal everything off of, but we'll see. If one falls in my lap, I'll pursue it. Otherwise, I may just put this 2-liter back in, just go through it, make sure it's hunky-dory, and then live happily ever after. So that's my tale. Sorry to bore everybody, but I haven't done any videos in a while. It's the holidays right now, and I'm on vacation, so I'm screwing around with this thing. And I just figured it's here in front of me. The motor is in it. You can see it. I did physically put it in. It's not mounted. It's sitting on wooden blocks to get it level, and it's still not even level. It's, to my eye, let's move this. Looks like it needs to come up on the right side about, I don't know, an inch. It looks like it needs to come forward, you know, this way, about an inch or so, half an inch. There's just so many obstacles to making this thing work. Where are you gonna put the coil packs? How are you gonna get the idler pulley in? You know, eventually you just say, I'm just spinning my wheels here. So what's the gain gonna be? I mean, it would be fantastic with this engine, but not that fantastic to go through all this work. Plus, then you get to do all the wiring. It's OBD2 engine, OBD1 car, then make that work together. Enough. So I'm a pussy. I'm pulling the plug. Sorry all my fans out there, but again, just documenting that. And, you know, again, the car. I have precious little video of this car. So here it is. So happy New Year. Talk to you soon.